Welcome to tonight's Multicultural New Zealand Gala dinner. Can I please ask Kura to do a prayer? Rangatira Kura to do a prayer for us. And Karakia to open today's special celebration.
Karanga karanga kia ranginui e tūnei, karanga karanga kia papa e tapu tōnei. Kera raunga tapu ai a tangata e pūtanga ari ki e pūtanga taurira. Nā rongo ngā tāne, ki ngā hautapu a tā uri mā te pūre mai nei ki rungi tamata o te minua, ki runga kia tātanga. Kia tātou e wakarau I ka mai nei ki ta wakanui atu rā tēnei pō nunui. E pō mauma ara atu rā ki tēnei tupua, a e Dysart tērā. I ki nā tura I ona wakaro. E rongo wakeri e ki runga turu turu o uti waka maua kia tīnā hui e tai ki e. Ara kei ngā tani wa kuroa o ngā iwi take take o te motu nei. Ara maira kei raro I te parerau o te ranga iwi. Ara maira e noni tia atu rā ki runga I te awa ataia. Ara I wanga I te a kautangi, te rā tuta, ki maupui e tēnei tā. Huri atu rā ki ngā tini aitua, huri raune I te motu. Kakara pine mai rā, ara kua wakangaro atu rā. O ti anō rā huri atu rā ko wai tēnei tipua ko tō wai tēnei taniwa, kia tātou I whakatairanga te atu rā tēnei pō. Ara ko tēnei taonga nunui a e Dysart tērā me ona mahi keiru te ngā hapori katoa. Mai te hiku o tika, mai te tairāwiti, mai te tauru, mai te mātonga. Hara mai rā. E te kaurangi, e te upoko, o te kaunihira, o pōneke tēnā koutou huri raunau. Ki ngā iwi take whakarau I ka mai nei nō reira tēnei te akiawa. O tarana ki whānui, e mihi kauana ki a koutou. Me huri atu rā ki tēnei Waiata me ona kōrero. E ngā iwi o te motu nei. He rau kura rā tēnei. I te tia nei, e tia wa. I te iti, I te rai, te katoa. E rau kura rā tēnei, e te tia nei te ati awa, I te iti te rai te katoa. E ngā iwi o te motu nei, no ia rā te wenua nei, mana ki te aranga iwi, I te iti te rai te katoa. Kua tu a te witi, no rungai ana mai pai, no rungai ana mai tika, I tōna ngā kaupai. And if I could just translate the word, e ngā iwi o te motu nei he rau kura rā tēnei I te iti te rai te katoa. To you, the nations of the world, this is a special occasion that we gathered here for the young, for the old, for everyone. E ngā iwi o te motu rei, no o ia rā te wenua nei, ma nā ki tia ranga iwi I te iti I te rai te katoa. To you, the nations of this world that reside on this land, our job is to care and look after one another, for the young, for the old, for everyone. Kua tu a te uti, no rungai ana mai pai, no rungai ana mai tika I tōna ngā kaupai. In the words of the prophet Te Whiti o Roamai, it was about doing the right thing and for the right purposes and for righteousness and justice. Nō reira tēnā koutou, kia ora tata katoa. Kia ora te iwi,
These lovely group here, Ngā Tonga Mai Tawhiti, is now going to do an action song which pays homage to a lot of New Zealand. Nō reira, kia ora.
Para
mai te Waiata, Waihi ngā manu. Here te, here o te rā. Irumaru, te kōhuri haki, Rana nōna kokona, te ona tūrai. Ko te tangi a te,
you enjoy that? Ai, kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa. Ko te mihi tuatahi, me mihi kia tika ki ngā tangata whenua, ki ngā iwi o te whanganui ātara, ko te ati awa tērā, ko taranaki whānui, ko Ngāti toa tērā, e mihi ana ki a koutou katoa. Ko te mihi tuarua, ka mihi au ki a koe, e te pāpā, e te rangatira e kura. Nau i tūwhera te papa, mō tēnei hui whakahirahira, mā mātou, nō reira, e kore e mutu ngā mihi ki a koe. O tia koutou, ngā taonga mai tāwhiti, ka rangona e mātou te wairua i tēnei pō, i te mea, o koutou a tāhua, Waiata a tāhua, ne, kia ora, ngā mihi. Ka huri au ki a koutou, kua tai mai, ki tēnei kaupapa whakahirahira, a rā, ko te Multicultural New Zealand Community Awards. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Mingalabar, namaste, sabaidi, annyeonghaseyo, ni hao, minasama konbanwa, ola, ola, oi more uru, assalamu alaikum. Ma alo le sofua maua, ma alo le whalao manuia, I le tātou mawhtanga, I le nei awhiawhi. Warm ethnic greetings to the 216 languages in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Welcome everybody. Did you like my introduction? Please give me a round of applause. Thank you very much. Welcome again to the annual Multicultural New Zealand Community Awards this evening. This is the 4th year running. My name is Jenny Taotua, and I have the honour of being one of your MCs for tonight. I would like to acknowledge, first and foremost, tangata whenua of the Wellington region, te Atiawa, Ngāti Toa, to our rangatira, again, Kura Moeahu, thank you for opening our gathering tonight and for clearing the way for an amazing evening ahead. I would also like to take this time to acknowledge our distinguished guests who are here with us tonight. The Honourable Sir Anand, Satyanand, former Governor-General of New Zealand. Welcome, sir. I lau whionga, the Honourable Lua Manawao, Dame Muni Laban, Assistant Vice-Chancellor Pasifika at Te Heranga Waka, Victoria University of Wellington, Malio May, my old boss as of last year, and also known as Auntie Winnie. Welcome. Your Worship, Mayor Andy Foster, Mr. Paul Hunt, Chief Human Rights Commissioner, Professor Michael Baker. We'd like to welcome Deputy Commissioner Police of Police Wally Homaha, e te rangatira Moerangi Rakaupai, I lawa whionga fo'i whamatuainu Tino Pereira. Again, I would like to acknowledge Kura Moeahu and the whānau who have come today, Alicia Moeahu, Moana and Hine Moa Priest from Waifetu Marae, Linda Pahi from Orongomai Marae, Ngāpiki Arthur and Adele from Ngāti Toa. And also would like to welcome Superintendent Rakesh Naindu. So I must say everybody looks very amazing. Do you like my outfit? It's all the way from Samoa. So please turn to your neighbour and say, you look amazing. All right, please turn to your other neighbour and say, what's for dinner? Awesome. So again, welcome. As I mentioned before, my name is Jenny Taotua. A little bit about myself, who's standing here in front of you. My parents traversed Te Moana Nui a Kiwa from Samoa and Tonga and landed here in Te Whanganui Atara. Settled in the beautiful city of opportunity, Porirua. Who's from Porirua? Yes, I see you died. Born and bred in the heart of Porirua. So I've lived and grown up with diverse cultures who have travelled here on the four winds of Tāwhiri Mātea. And it's my honour to be here tonight. Also representing and being one of the founding members of the Porirua Multicultural Council that was established in 2018. And I also come with my Ministry for Pacific Peoples hat, working as a senior advisor in the regional partnerships team based in Porirua. I'd like to now give it over to my handsome, not my boyfriend, but there you go, Daniel. Round of applause for Daniel.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Ko monserate te manga, ko orungo mai te marae, ko Waikarangi te awa, ko Colombian o kuti puna, ke te noho au ki te wanganui atara, ko Daniel toku ingoa. Kura. Talofa lava, nisa bula vinaka, whakalofa lahi atu, maloni, kia orana, halo legata, kamna Maori, noia Maori, whakatalofa atu, and warm, very warm welcome to you all this evening. What an honor to be one of your MCs tonight, alongside the amazing Jenny. Wasn't she good? And doesn't she look beautiful? Outshining me here. My name is Daniel Gamboa. I was born in Colombia. Has anyone here been to Colombia? Oh yeah, oh that's nice. A few hands up. Oh yes, a couple. That's good. Beautiful. How's Colombia? Beautiful, eh? Wonderful. That's good. So for those who haven't been to Colombia yet, I encourage you to go. You have really good-looking people over there as well. Look, I left my country when I was 12 due to a civil war, and I came to New Zealand with my mother in 2012. We came here as refugees. Now, 10 years later, I work as a senior diversity and engagement advisor at the Ministry for Ethnic Communities. My involvement with the multicultural councils across New Zealand extends a very long time ago. From being supported and looked after by the Lower Hutt Council when I first arrived in Aotearoa, to being a youth coordinator at the Wellington Council, to now being an honorary member to the Porirua and Palmerston North Council. And finally, thank you, yeah, that's good. Okay, no claps, that's fine, it's all right. Well, tonight we recognize the efforts and contributions of people and organizations who have gone above and beyond to deliver support, advocacy, and empowerment to ethnic communities across Aotearoa. Above and beyond, now I have a very pleasure to invite to the stage a leader with a heart of community, someone who has selflessly dedicated himself to creating a prosperous multicultural Aotearoa. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the President of the Multicultural Council, Mr. Pancha Narayanan.
Pai ki ngā tangata katoa. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. E ngā iwi, e ngā reo, e ngā mana, e ngā hawe whā. Tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Kia ora, haere mai, haere mai, haere mai. And thank you for being here this evening. Let there be rain, let the lands flourish. Let there be the rule of law. Let there be abundance. Let there be good deeds. Let there be charitability. And let us abide by the demands of the environment. வான்முகில் வளாது பெய்க மலிவளம் சுரக்க மன்னன் கோன்முறை அரசு செய்க குறைவிலாது உயிர்கள் வாழ்க நற்றவம் வேள்வி மல்க மேன்மைகோள் இயற்கை நியதி. These are things that my grandmother taught me. Words from 3,000 years ago. And spirit-wise, very similar to tangata whenua. Culturally, very similar to tangata whenua. Our connection with New Zealand is through tangata whenua. It's a special evening. It's a time. I recently had a conversation with an academic, Professor James Liu. And he said, and I was looking at the contribution to research from migrant and refugees, and I was looking at the work that was done by students, and I felt that the work was not acknowledged adequately with people who had made input. He couldn't understand, he questioned, and then he said, the currency for volunteering is acknowledgement. They don't work for money, they work with passion. It is our responsibility as community members to say thank you. And this evening is about thank you. And first and foremost to our special guests who are here today. Sirs, dames, diplomatic corps, people from the diplomatic corps, senior officials from government, from the Human Rights Commission and various government agencies. Welcome and thank you for giving us this time. And most importantly, for all these rangatira from around the country who work tirelessly as volunteers, particularly in the last couple of years when unprecedented situation has prevailed in New Zealand. And many of us spend a lot of evenings making sure that the connections are kept alive with the means that we have so that people are safe. Today, we spent the time talking about a number of things. As Tangata Treaty, how do we honor the treaty? What is that we do? And how is diversity to be celebrated and engaged under the treaty? We talked about social cohesion, and we also talked about communities participating in policy contribution. And today, there is an irony. We said, for any social cohesion work to be successful, the first thing that New Zealand has to do is to acknowledge the treaty and also settle the grievances of the First Nation people. It is from grievance to forgiveness and then for celebration. We talked about social cohesion and we said, we are it. Right? The conversations, we do it. The mahi that we do is about keeping people together. Right? We haven't defined it in words, but we have been part of it. And we did say that it was what we are doing this time around is the third generation of social inclusion, social cohesion work. We said that there was frustration that things are being repeated, but we acknowledge that this conversation about social cohesion cannot stop. We have to continue. We have to keep at it. We also said that government wasn't listening. We gave examples of why we thought government wasn't listening and what government actually listened to. Right? And in all of this, we are here because of the communities and government. And today, it's ironic. Our awards, tonight's award, the Distinguished Service Awards, we have called it the Dysart Distinguished Service Award. Dysart, a government official, she stood by us all the way. She didn't give us what we asked for all the time. Even when she was unhappy with us as a community, when we had turmoil within our own council, she stood by us. She said, I'm a government official, don't trust me, because when government changes, policy will change. But she was a truly trustworthy government official. And we have grown because of that trust, because of that faith. And it is only appropriate that that selfless service be recognized. And a trophy or an award doesn't simply justify it. As people, as communities from around the country, we celebrate Dysart by embracing Etufano. We have Etufana. Tonight's our awards are about Etufana. Tikanga, Korera Aufi, Manamanaki, Whakapapa, Panaungatanga, Aroha. And we have embraced this, and it is in our constitution. So I'd like to say thank you to that great kuya for showing us this way. Our achievements this year as communities. We have stood up to the challenge of COVID-19. We have done our best, even when the finger was pointed. It was supposed to be a no-blame situation. Even when the finger was pointed at the ethnic communities when the second outbreak happened in Auckland. we did not simply retaliate. We didn't say, no, you shouldn't blame these people. We took on a campaign to say that we as New Zealanders cared for a COVID-19 free country too. Right? And this went nationwide. This year, we have acknowledged that the last week in August of every year, it will be Multicultural Day. And we will celebrate it Multicultural Day, the last Friday. And we chose that it won't be a weekend, that it will be a weekday. Fridays, people dress down, we will dress up. We will go to the supermarket, we will go to work, and we will also speak in our language where appropriate. This is the courage that we have got from rangatira who are around the country, who have come together. And this year saw a great unity, unified hikoi to Waiata. This journey started from Orangamai. It was very nice to hear Prophet Te Whitu Orangamai recognized today in Karakia. This lovely journey, this lovely gift, this lovely horahi hau was gifted to us by Orangamai. I like to also remember Mohiwahi, who's passed away, our first Po'arahi for Multicultural New Zealand when we were just starting. With all of that, I'd like to welcome all of you. Please enjoy the evening. Let's celebrate these lovely people who have done selfless, tireless mahi. Let's congratulate them. And let's also feel good that in New Zealand, that migrant and refugees do make a difference. I say thank you all. Ngā mihi nui. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Kia ora.
I would now like to invite Moerangi-Rakaupai to the stage to say.
We believe that nothing can happen without our people in the back, and a lot of you have been doing that for many years. I'm a bit nervous actually. I didn't understand the import of this event. To honour my oldest and dearest friend and Dysart in this manner is a humbling thing for her. She never, as you will know, she never ever expected any recognition for the work that she did. When her particular style in working with communities usually started with the telling off. She would ground somebody, and that was her way in. Once she had done that, and from there on it was about building strong relationships right across the various levels of government, across the various levels of community, right into the kitchen at the marae, right up into the corridors of Parliament. Those were the places where she trod. Her service to her people and to the people that she loved in the ethnic communities, the refugee, former refugees we call them now, the former refugee and migrant communities, was unstinting. I'll just tell you a story because it'll give you an idea as to why Anne was so committed to the people of the different cultures of New Zealand. Here we are 26 years later in this place here, in these hallowed halls with the leaders of the refugee migrant communities here. And now the time is coming, or the time has arrived, where those communities can stand anywhere in the government space and even in near to whānau, where they will have their own space soon. So I think that's all I have to say, other than to say that we miss Anne dearly, and it is a great honour that the New Zealand Federation of Multicultural Councils have deemed it, have given this award evening to Anne and her in her name. So that's all I have to say. Ngā mihi kia koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa.
Nake mihi Kia ora, and thank you so much, Moerangi. Thank you for reminding us about the amazing work that Anand Dysart did. And it was because of her I now have a marae. She took me and a group of young people to Orongomai to marae, and there we were welcomed like it was a new home. So thank you so much, Anand Dysart. Well, now I see some hungry faces, so entree is on its way. So I'm going to do a Karakia in Spanish for you all, and then we'll have some dancing after that. I will do the Karakia now. Gracias, Señor Jesús, por esta oportunidad de estar aquí reunidos. Gracias por estar todos aquí. Gracias por esta celebración, por la comida que viene. Bendice estos alimentos. Bendice a las personas que están aquí reunidas. En tu santo nombre. Amén. Gracias. Gracias. Well, now that entree is on its way, are we ready for some entertainment, some dancing? Beautiful. I have the pleasure to welcome the Luo Cultural Dance Group, who are passionate about promoting culture through art. So, can we give a big round of applause to our Luo Community Dance Group?
Good evening to you all. My name is Tony Abdallah. I am from the Luo community and assistant chairperson for the Luo community.
for our Luo community. All right, I now have the pleasure of calling upon one of our executive members from the Multicultural New Zealand Federation, Prem Singh, to come to the floor to introduce our Merit Awards ceremony. And from there he will call on our recipients of 2021 for the Merit Awards ceremony. Thank you very much, Prem. Round of applause for Prem. Thank you.
Thank you very much. When we have such a talented and multitasking MCs, we come out here becoming very inferior in front of them. Anyway, first of all, our invited guest, ladies and gentlemen, Kura and greetings to you all. As our president has already spoken and welcome our distinguished guest, I will not go through that list again. My task has been made as somewhat easier, just to talk about the Merit Awards. What awards do we give to our members? MNZ, that is Multicultural New Zealand, recognizes the good work that our people do around the region. And we have 3 levels of award that we give. The first one is a community award for the people who contribute their time and work with the community in their regions. The second one, I stepped higher, is Merit Award. The Merit Award is awarded to regional council members for long service work in their community, in their region. Nomination for those delegates that, nomination for those people come in here from the regional councils. Regional councils make their call who they are going to award and who will be taken into consideration. And these nominees will normally have a first stage of the award, which is community award. This year, the Federation has recognized the people who has contributed, and there were nominations that came from the regional councils, and there are 4 people who will be getting these awards. And this award will be presented by our very committed Superintendent Rakesh Naidu, who has been working very closely with our Federation. I must recall that I have been in this Federation for something like 32 years. And I probably will say my president is now endorsing that. I must say that when I came in this country in '87, within a year or 2, I joined in the council, and since then I have been in the federation or at a local level. And I must also say at this stage that I have worked a number of years with our current president, that we have taken the federation in a direction whereby our agencies, governments can see what we are doing. And after a number of years of negotiation and talking with our Kamatuas, our people of the land, this year was the year that we were successful and we were able to make a trip to Waiata. And our deputy superintendent was there as our guest to be with us. And what a great achievement we have made. I think at this stage, I would very humbly request you all to give a round of applause to our president who made this success. Now coming back to the Merit Awards, this year we have got 4 people who were awarded the Merit Award. The first one, I will ask the people to come up here, and later Rakesh Naidu, Superintendent Rakesh Naidu will present the award. First person is Maria Gulden. She is from Waiata Multicultural Council. Second Archana Tandem from Christchurch, Multicultural Council. And the fourth recipient is Sumanlata Sharma. She's from Wellington, Multicultural Council. Now we have picked our Superintendent Rakesh to present that. I must at this stage also say and thank our New Zealand Police for engaging and working with us and making our community so safe. And I must also say at this stage, our police force is none but the first in the world, number one. If you look at number of stages and incidents that has happened, they have been able to go to the person who has caused all this drama within a couple of minutes or in a very, very short time. At this stage, I would probably like to thank our Deputy Commissioner of Police for the great work that you do and the guidance that you give us and the direction that we are going through. Thank you very much.
Give a big round of applause to Maria, please.
Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā tātou katoa. Es un honor a recibir este premio. Today, 18 years ago, I arrived to New Zealand with my 3 kids. My husband was here 8 months before. So this is a very special day for me. So muchas gracias, Multicultural New Zealand. It is really an honor and an inspiration to belong to Multicultural New Zealand. Gracias.
And Archana Tandon, please. Give her a big round of applause.
Kia ora, good evening, namaste. Thank you all for the honor. It's really a privilege to receive this. I'm just stoked. Thank you. Arrived in New Zealand 31 years ago and joined Multicultural Council in 2000. So it's been nearly 21 years. So thank you very much. Thank you all.
Suman Latta from Multicultural Council of Wellington.
Greetings to you all. Thank you very much for this award. I joined Multicultural Council it's about more than 10 years ago. So yeah, thank you so much very much for this.
Another round of applause.
Thank you very much. I'll hand over to our great MCs that they are entertaining us. What a multitasking they are. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pran. Well, Jenny's really outshining me, isn't she, with that beautiful song. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna sing for you tonight, but you saw me dancing, so I think this is as far as I will go. Thank you so much. Well, we will be sending those certificates to our Auckland members that couldn't join us here tonight. We're now moving to the live awards, live membership awards. But before that, I want us to do a stretch. So can we stand up? Can we all stand up? Yes, I know the MCs are making you stand up. I know there's a good stretch. And we're gonna do head, shoulders, knees and toes, but in Spanish. Okay? Okay? So, cabeza, hombros, rodillas y pies. Rodillas. EPS. Thank you, everyone. You can have a seat now. Now it's time for the Life Membership Awards. These awards celebrate council members who have stood by and with us for a long time. I will now call upon Pam again to tell you more about these awards and present them to the recipients.
Yes, once again, ladies and gentlemen, now I will talk about life membership. The life membership may be bestowed upon a member of a regional council who has a special, meritorious, outstanding service for the Federation. Qualification for life membership. Nominated person must have served Federation for not less than 5 years. I think I got mine after serving 10 years. He or she must not be an undischarged bankrupt nor have any criminal conviction. We'll probably have to check criminal conviction. We have got our deputy police commissioner here. We can probably check. Nomination for the life membership. Each nominee shall be proposed and seconded by 2 regional council. So it is not only by the particular regional council. So there is another regional council needs to endorse it. Nomination and nominees' history of service shall be forwarded in writing to Federation Office at least 21 days before AGM. So this gives a chance to the executive to go to the police department and check whether there is any conviction or any bankruptcy. And then approval of the life membership. The executive committee goes through each nomination thoroughly and make a selection. So this was the condition. Then the privileges that the life member gets. Life member shall be entitled to all privileges enjoyed by other members of the Federation. Life members are entitled to attend all general and council meetings at their own cost. They are not required to pay any membership subscription. So these are the basic rules, conditions, and the way they go through. And now I must at this stage, I'm not trying to boast about myself, but I would say I was probably the first one to get in Wellington. Is that right, President? And even though the 3 main regional councils that formed the Federation were Auckland, Wellington, and Christchurch, but there are a number of life memberships given to the other members from other regions. They have already received that. But I must say, with the blessing of the Heavenly Father, I am still in here, and I am one of the oldest member of the Federation, then about 32 years. So with your blessing and with the Heavenly Father's blessing, I would like to go a few more years, and we'll see whether I'll be able to. And now, regard to the people who have been awarded, there is normally a maximum of 3 per year, annually, that we give this award. This year, the people who will be awarded that merit award is number 1, Lonnie Martin from Wellington. Sandra Tonkin, Waiata Multicultural Council. She's not here today. And Surandan Tandem, Christchurch Multicultural Council. So today you can see Brother Surender and Bahan Arsana both have got the award, but I will not say the word fortunately, but Surender is the one who's getting the life membership. He has been involved with the council for a long, long time. So I'll call upon Lady Susan to please come and present these awards. I will ask the recipients, Surinder and Loni, they are the two present here today, to come up. And at this stage, I have got a history regard to Loni Martin. As I said, I joined into the ethnic communities around 88, and within couple of years behind me came Loni Martin, and since then she is involved in community work at regional level and as well as at the federation level. She has been the chairperson of our Women's Council for the federation level. Now I call upon my brother Surinder.
Thank you very much. I was in the Federation since 1990s, and every time that this Prem Singh and Pancha, they train me very well. And every time that they get something to say that, Loni, I need help, I was always at the back. So thank you very much, the panel of this award. Thank you very much, and Prem for supporting me, and for, of course, the MCW. I'm just thank you so much for nominating me as well, and to my family is there as well, and my husband, of course. Without his permission, I can't do the things that I should do for this work of community work. Thank you.
Kura, namaste. I'm so humbled to receive this award. Thank you so much to Multicultural New Zealand. I came to New Zealand in 1988 as a fresh wool textile scientist working at Ron's Lincoln near Christchurch, and soon I came across so many migrants, and thereon I worked with lots of fellow colleagues coming from different overseas countries, and got the feel of multiculturalism since then. I've been associated with the Christchurch Multicultural Council since year 2000, and have been president for last 13 years, working with the Federation of Multicultural Councils. I'm so pleased that Multicultural New Zealand and all our regional multicultural councils are in such a good position to have been serving the wider community in New Zealand to foster unity and diversity, as we noticed after the 15th March mosque attacks, and we enjoyed very healthy, friendly relationship with the government agencies and other NGOs. So thank you, Multicultural New Zealand, but I'm not going to retire after receiving this life membership. I'm going to carry on working with all of you, and thanks to my family and my local Christchurch ethnic community groups and multicultural councils and all the NGOs and the government departments. I have fondly worked with them. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Beautiful. Another round of applause. Amazing. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Are we ready for some more food? For the main? Yeah? No? Yes, yes or no? Yes, yes, that's good. The chefs need to hear that. Enthusiasm. That's awesome. And the MCs are hungry too, so we'll have a break as well to eat something, please. I know you want to see us all the time on the stage. We're really entertaining, but we must have a break as well. And so during dinner, you will have more entertainment. We have a lion dance group that will entertain you. And please stay on your seats, don't go away, because after dinner, we'll have the Dysart Distinguished Service Awards. So thank you so much and see you all soon.
I hear it's very good. Ryan, come back, All right. If the three of you could put one hand right up, please, and put it back a bit so the lion can eat it. All right. Now what you have to do is put both the hands out, please. Yeah. And you're gonna go. Just give your hands a clean. Now the lions are just gonna wash the back of their head. There we go. That's the back there. All right. Okay, put your hands down. Thank you. And now, after washing your hair, we're just gonna keep your hair dry. And that's $5, please. All right, lions, come down. Thank you. Thank you. Good. Thank you. Okay. Back on, and there we go. We'll let them go with the dinner. Thank you.
All right, so we have now come to the time where we recognise our external stakeholders, our leaders of influence who have stood with us. I would now like to ask Gurtej Singh, the Community Relationship Advisor for Multicultural New Zealand, to come to the stage to announce our 2021 Distinguished Service Awards recipients. Round of applause, I have to say.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Now is the time for the ceremony tonight when we come to the Dysart Distinguished Awards ceremony. It brings together 6 values of Eto Whānau. Eto Whānau is a movement for positive change and is about taking responsibility and action in your community and supporting whānau to thrive. This is an occasion for Multicultural New Zealand to shine light on the awardees from Eto Whānau perspective. The first perspective that we are looking at tonight is Whanaungatanga, which means it's about being connected. And this award goes to Chief Human Rights Commissioner Paul Hunt. Paul Hunt has given visibility and reach to human rights in a way that it can be understood by recent migrants and refugees. He has defined for and helped Aotearoa New Zealand accept that housing and health are rights. He has positioned rights of communities with respect to environment. He is, in our view, the most visible, active and responsive Chief Human Rights Commissioner, and who is so well connected with the communities around the Motu. Human Rights Commission during his time will always be remembered as a time that gave straightforward meaning to the rights of every human being, irrespective of their language, ethnicity, age, and gender. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Chief Human Rights Commissioner Paul Hunt. Thank you. Can I invite Sir Anand Satyanand to present this award, please?
Koto Kotoa, Talofa Lava, Namaste, Salam Alaikum, Shalom, Bonsoir, and Hola, Daniel, and good evening, everybody. I want to acknowledge Ambassador Gary Domingo. Sir Anand, thank you for the presentation. Dame Winnie Laban, or Auntie Winnie, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Mayor Andy Foster, I'm not sure if you're Uncle Andy yet, perhaps that's a bit premature. But Professor Michael Baker, Deputy Commissioner Wally Homaha, Moerangi Falaoa-Rakaupai, Fa'amatua Inotino Pereira, Moana and Hinemoa Priest, Kura and Alicia Moeahu, Linda Mahi, Ngā Arthur and Adele, my friend Rakesh Naidu, President Pancha Narayanan. Thank you for your leadership, your exemplary leadership, Pancha. And Daniel and Jeannie, thank you very much. There are so many friends and colleagues in the room. I'm going to be very, very brief. Look, I just want to say how wonderful it is and how honoured I feel to receive this award. I feel very honoured indeed, and it's actually special because of the name of the award, Anand Dysart Award. She was, as Pancha said earlier, a wonderful and trustworthy public official, and it was my honour and privilege to work with her in the last 3 or 4 years. And Pancha said at the beginning this evening, he said, this evening is about saying thank you. And it's a chance actually for me to say thank you to all of you, every single one of you, for your hard work, for your mahi, for all the work that you've contributed to our communities and our community. Your extraordinary achievements that all of you should take credit for. Work as individuals, work as institutions, work as communities, work as iwi and hapu. It's really rather remarkable. One of the most striking events for me personally this year was when I was invited to go to the treaty grounds to see the hikoi organised by Multicultural New Zealand, to be there and to make a small contribution to the ceremony and the planting of the tree. It was very powerful, it was very moving, it was deeply symbolic. And I really applaud Multicultural New Zealand for all their work, but that for me stands out. That for me stands out this year. And I have this strong, honestly held conviction. It's that Te Tiriti enables us to set a new course for Aotearoa, from which we will all benefit. And as I see it, as I said to some of you this afternoon at another meeting, as I see it, at the centre of everything, procedures, institutions, policies, at the centre of everything, there should reside three things. The sense of well-being of individuals and communities, the sense of human rights, and taiteriti. Not the principles, but Article 1, and Article 2, and Article 3. Those three things, well-being, human rights, and taiteriti, at the centre of everything, would transform our lives and communities and our society. And when I say human rights, I won't go on for much longer, but when I say human rights, what I mean is not just about I and me, it's about we and us. That's what human rights is about. It's about building harmonious relationships. It's about not only holding the government to account, but all of us accepting our responsibilities to each other and to our communities, to our society, to our environment, and to our children and grandchildren. That's what human rights is about. And human rights is not only about responsibilities and relationships, it's also about rights broadly understood, including the right to a decent home, a decent, accessible, safe, secure, warm, dry home. That's a human right. The right to health care, the right to health protection. That's the understanding of human rights that the Human Rights Commission is endeavouring to begin to bring to policy-making processes and to all communities in Aotearoa. I conclude by saying I'm extremely conscious of my multiple privileges, my multiple advantages. And what I try to do with that advantage, what I try to do is make space for others. I try to use my privilege and my advantage to enable others, individuals, communities, hapu and iwi, to flourish and thrive and be empowered. But thank you so much, Multicultural New Zealand, for bestowing this honour. I feel very humble and very privileged. Thank you very much indeed.
We are so thankful to people like Paul Hunt who support us. Talking about e tōwhānau, the next value we are looking at is mana manaki, which means building the mana of others through nurturing, growing, and challenging. And tonight, the Mana Manaki Award goes to Dame Winnie Laban. Dame Winnie Laban, Assistant Vice Chancellor, Pacifica Victoria University of Wellington, has always championed the cause of righteousness. She protested the Springbok tour of New Zealand, and when asked to stand for Parliament in 1989, she refused as she disagreed with Rogernomics. She actively supported people through closing down phase of numerous manufacturing units in early 1990s. After becoming an MP in 1999, she continued building mana of others. It is education sector currently where she is building that mana. Dame Laban has lived through race-based dawn raids. To the enormity of injustices that were committed must come a gesture of reconciliation. New Zealand government offered an apology earlier this year, and Dame Laban wants the government to go beyond an apology. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Dame Laban.
Come on, Auntie Winnie. Another round of applause for Dame Luo Manuwa, Dame Winnie Laban. I would now like to take this time to call upon Ilawa Fionga from Matuainu Tino Pereira to come forward to present the award to your BFF. Another round of applause.
Mai anō tātou katoa, ngā mana whenua te atiawa, ngā titoa, talo whalava, malo lelei, warm Pacific greetings, namaste, ni hao, asakalam, sorry, ni hao, but everyone, a warm Pacific greetings. Look, you know, I've got nothing extra to say than that leadership is not about great speeches, it's actually about action. And in our culture, I've invited our High Chief, Whaamatuainu Tino Pereira, to speak to you. But thank you so much. I'm so grateful and humbled to receive this award, because at the end of the day, it is certainly about the we and not the me. Thank you.
There is a palpable sense of achievement here tonight. Mau ke whakalo whaku pa i o le malu i le ngepo. Ua pa i e whafo. Ua pa i e whale. Ua pa i a langi. Pa i e wholesome. We say in the villages that we come from that today is when the wind pays respect to the leaders of our communities. That tomorrow we believe the sun will continue to rise. And that our communities will rejoice in the fishing when the navigators of the seas return to shores with the fishing to distribute. It is an enormous privilege for me and a profound honor to be in a place to hand over an award to a treasure in our community. A woman who is fearless in the advocacy for her people. A pioneer who fought the multiple waves that wash over us as we struggle in this country to find a sense of who we are and our place in the humanity of this country. That's what Luo Cultural has contributed. And I just want to pay tribute to her. So much of the noise around our country at the moment extract too much awfulness out of the goodness of this great country. That's, I believe, is the message for us. And for our communities, multicultural is the essence of our hopes and our dreams. If tangata whenua and te tiriti, which is at the heart of our constitution and our way of life, accepts our me. So I want to thank you. May that sun rises and meet you and greet you tomorrow morning. I will feel my pulse tomorrow morning and see if I'm alive still. But thank you. And when you make that decision tomorrow to stay alive, we say in Samoa, when that wave breaks on the reef and you want to find some way back, look at that bird on the top of the hill, that will bring you home. Soifo, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou koutou.
The next Etufano value that we are looking at is Korero Afi, which means positive communication and actions. During the past couple of years, we see a pillar out there who is sending out positive communication and his actions all the time. Tonight, Korero Afi Award goes to Professor Michael Baker. We would like to recognize Professor Michael Baker being honest, sincere, and uncompromising in his expression as what we should do as a country to combat COVID-19. He has tirelessly defended the rights of ordinary New Zealanders by using his research and knowledge, and by being the first specialist to propose to the New Zealand government that they should not only look at the Western model, but also at Asian practices in combating COVID-19. When Multicultural New Zealand, as said earlier during the night, Proposed in April 2020, wearing masks, Ministry of Health negated the use of masks at that time. Professor Michael Baker encouraged wearing masks, and today it's a reality. We are all wearing masks now. We like to say thank you to Professor Michael Baker for standing up to his work and for recognizing practices that could play a role in New Zealand health and safety standards. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Michael Baker.
And can I please invite Mayor Andy Foster, Mayor of Wellington, to present the award.
Well, tēnā koutou katoa. I want to thank Pancha and Multicultural New Zealand very much for the invitation to come along to this wonderful event tonight. And also, it's great to see a room full of distinguished guests. I think that pretty much summarises everyone in the room. It is a real honour to receive the Ann Dyson Distinguished Service Award. I did not know about this wonderful kuia until the last few days when I did some research about her, and it's obviously very sad that she died earlier this year, but I can just see from the talk about her tonight that she made a wonderful contribution, and so it is a real honour to have her name recognised with this award. I should say that as a university professor, I usually need about 50 minutes in a PowerPoint presentation to say anything useful. So I'll be a bit more concise than that. But certainly January last year, it was a very unusual position to be in as an epidemiologist. Firstly, no one even knew what an epidemiologist is or was. And we were all confronted by this huge existential threat. And I'm very proud of the way that New Zealand has responded to this threat. We took a different path from the rest of the world. We took an elimination strategy, and it has given us the lowest mortality in the OECD. And in fact, our life expectancy has actually expanded by 8 months last year and again this year. And now, of course, we're transitioning to a different response, and hopefully we will meet this virus again on our terms rather than the terms dictated by the pandemic as a highly vaccinated and organised society. I should say the definition of public health is the art and science of promoting health through the organised efforts of society. And I can see that Multicultural New Zealand is very much a part of those organised efforts, and the values that you espouse are absolutely critical to the success that New Zealand's had in combating this threat. And I'm really hoping that we can use the lesson and the agency we've learnt to tackle the many other challenges on the horizon and turn them into opportunities. So thanks again very much for the invitation to come along tonight.
Thank you, Professor Baker. And when we move to the next award, just a caveat and a hint as well. We are talking about COVID-19, and the next recipient, because of COVID-19, was not able to travel to Wellington to receive this award. So talking about Eito Whānau values, the next value is Aroha, giving with no expectation of return. And tonight, before I say who this reward goes to, please bear with us. We'll be depending on technology tonight so that we could bring the recipient direct to you. Lovely Summer is sitting there, so she'll try her best to bring her in. Tonight, Aroha Award goes to Ranjana Patel, who is the founder of Gandhi Nivas Family Violence Prevention Program in New Zealand. The program partners with counties Manukau Police and Sahayata Counselling and Social Support to deliver services to New Zealand men considered at risk of committing domestic violence. A program to support men to change their behavior. This groundbreaking program started in 2014, removes men referred to the service by police from family home and places them in specially run homes to support them to understand and change their behavior. Ranjana Patel is also a co-founder and director of Tamaki Health, a primary healthcare group. She has been involved with the integration of primary and secondary healthcare systems, successfully executing several health initiatives. She is a recognized innovator. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ranjana Patel on Zoom. Thank you. And to present the award and talk to her tonight is MNZ President Pancha Narayanan. I will request you to come to the stage, please.
A little unexpected, but such a privilege to honor someone that I work with the at the Police Commissioner's Ethnic Focus Group. Ranjana, I just want to say thank you for this work that you do. Very often in this country, we spend a lot of money burdening women to sort out problems that men cause. Right? 9 out of 10 times, the perpetrator in family violence are men. I think that there comes a time when we have to say to men, no, but in a loving way. And the Gandhi Nivas model is such a lovely model, right? So I'd like to say, Ranjana, so privileged that MNZ can be able to honor that service. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Anna Pancha. And I would request now Samar to pin Ranjana on the screen so that we could hear her message.
Ina mana, ina rio, ina karangatanga maa, tēnā koutoa. Thank you, Multicultural New Zealand and Pancha Narayanan for recognising me in this award. I'm humbled and honoured to be acknowledged and to accept it on behalf of the 1,000 people at Tamaki Health and the team at Gandhi Nivas. And so nice to see Wally Rakesh, a part of this amazing program, be there. I should have got them to accept the prize on behalf of myself. I feel like an imposter as it's the work of other people that has made both Gandhi Nivas and Tamaki Health a big success. Privileged to be connected to some amazing people that do the mahi. I'm a third generation Kiwi and yet I am still ethnic. As two of my granddaughters in their school speeches said, will I ever be Kiwi enough? That is the reality of anyone with a multicultural background that looks slightly different. Will they ever be recognised as a New Zealander, even though they're fifth generation Kiwis? Being different and diversity of thought is our biggest strength, and it's our biggest barrier. It is hard to embrace diversity of thought, and yet 40% of New Zealand are born overseas and 60% are like me, but I still look different. Multicultural New Zealand is the conscience of ethnic communities when we find it hard to voice our discrimination. They touch the hearts of over 750,000 New Zealanders and advise the government on many, many issues and embrace I tu whanau values. Gandhi Nivas and Tamaki Health both are what they are because we choose to do things differently. Both are people-centred. Most of our services are moulded from European colonisation and so do not work for the majority of the community. Multicultural New Zealand is there to voice our concerns and be our voice when we cannot do it. So once again, thank you for acknowledging me in this Mana Wahine Award for Aroha. It's very humbling. I think if we all just respect, listen, and value the diversity of thought, New Zealand would be in a different place, especially with COVID. We lack so much when it comes to understanding. And I always say, understand the people of South Auckland first, and you will get it right for all of New Zealand. So thank you. and have a good evening. And I'm so sorry I missed this lovely occasion to be in Wellington. Hopefully we'll be able to travel soon, but not quite sure. Thank you, Pancha, for acknowledging me in this award, and I've received the beautiful trophy yesterday, so thank you.
Thank you again. On the journey of Eto Whānau, now we move to some institutions which we are going to recognize next. The Eto Whānau value tikanga, doing things the right way, according to our values. And Eto Whānau Tikanga Award tonight goes to Waihetu Marae.
Pancha miki rawa turakia koe tēnei taonga. Kia koutou, ka ioku tuaka nei Ngāti Toa, ka ioku whananga. Ka ioku tuaka no te moana nui atua, nei rātu miki atura. Kia koutou ngā iwi take o te ao, tēnei kami. I remember that time in 2019 when you came and the group came to Waihetu to listen to our story, to our narratives in place and space, and the challenges that we had. The name of our meeting house is Arohanui ki te tangata, goodwill to all men. And it is something that has been, it's hereditary within us because it comes out of a very volatile time, particularly with the prophets Te Whiti o Rawamai and Tohu Kākei, and the philosophy of our house is taken from the scriptures. Honour and glory to God on high, peace on earth and goodwill to all men. I was fortunate today, in fact, e harai te toa takitahi, e toa takitini. It's not about the one man, it is about a collective of people. And I'm talking a collective of people well before we were born, because this goes to our tupuna, our grandparents' generation, Hinamo's grandfather who foresaw the vision of building a wharenui out at Waihetu. And the name that it carries is a huge responsibility. Not only on us as a niwi, but on us as to everyone that lives within our tribal domain, our tribal takiwa. And I'm humbled to be standing here because I was with our kaumātua Uncle Kara this morning, Uncle Kara Puketapu, who has played a very pivotal role in who we are today. And he's very humbled that we were to receive an award. But this award doesn't go to us being up here, it goes to all of the workers on our marae. And if I can give an example, the most important person on our marae is the toilet cleaner. Ki roto I tō tātāwao in terms of our Te Ao Māori worldview. If you can't humble yourself to clean a toilet for your manuhiri, ka kuare rātou, then you've forgotten what you're really here for, and it is about servicing the people. I want to acknowledge all the amazing leaders that have stood up here and carved the pathway, because you're leaving a legacy for the next generation. And the question, when do I become a New Zealander? You are. It just so happens, space and place, is that we were here at the time of prior to your arrival. And so we are all New Zealanders. In terms of place and space, it just so happened to be here on the 29th of April 1840 that Te Atiawa, Ngāti Toa, were in the place and space when we signed the Treaty of Waitangi. The Treaty of Waitangi, I believe, at that time, the intent was honourable. It's our job now to make it honourable. Everyone's looking for partnerships. And for us in Waiwhetu, the relationship was just within whānau and hapu. Then some married into European settlers, then married into the Pacific, then we're now marrying into the Asian. So it's going to evolve, and we eventually will all be New Zealanders. So on a final note, and can I encourage all of the different ethnicities here, kia maia kia mana wanui ki tō ake reo, ko tō whare wānanga nou, ko tōku whare wānanga nōku. And in saying that, be proud of your language, be proud of who you are, because your sources of knowledge of information are correct in accordance to your tikanga and your worldview. My sources of knowledge are correct in accordance with my tikanga and the people who allowed us to collect this taonga this evening. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Arā ko te Waiata nei, i whakahuatia i te whakatūwheratanga o tō tātou whare, i te tau ko tahi mano I warau ono te kau. The song was sung at the opening of our marae, arohanu ki te tangata. Tēnei mātou te aroha, ngā rangatahi e tu nei, te pōhiri haere mai, piki mai, kake mai. Ngā iwi, ngā hau e whā, tēnei ko te taonga nei, te aroha nui ki te tangata, mana ki tia mai e hoa mā. Au e, e koro mā, e kui mā, ho mai te wai ora e, ho mai te wai ora e. Tēnā koutou katoa, kia ora.
Kia ora. Thank you. The final Etufano value that we are looking at tonight is whakapapa, knowing who you are and where you belong. And we listened to a lovely story by one of the MCs about where we are going next with this Etufano value. For whakapapa, tonight this award goes to Arango Mai Marae. Arango Mai Marae is where the Hikoi to Te Tiriti-based Multicultural New Zealand started in 2006. It's a multicultural marae that has hosted Multicultural New Zealand huis several times, including our annual general meetings. Their social service connection with ethnic communities is exemplary. Arango Mai Marae very generously gifted Horahiho as a Tereo name for our pathway to Tiriti-based Aotearoa, New Zealand. Their engagement with local community is a model to emulate, which they have extended to us, Tangata Tiriti, especially for more recent arrivals to this country, as we heard earlier. This has added Aroha and Mana to our Aotearoa journey. We take this opportunity to also say thank you to Mohi Wahi for being the first Poarahi for Multicultural New Zealand. But due to some health reasons, we are missing Linda Pahi tonight. She can't be here due to health reasons. In her absence, I would like to request Kannan Alagappan, with his connections to Arango Mai Marae, to please come forward and receive this trophy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kannan Alagappan, who is also a New Zealand police officer and serves the community well.
Could I please ask Moerangi-Rakaupai to present this award? Thank you so much.
Kia ora koutou. It's an honor and a privilege to receive this award on behalf of Orangamai Marae. Orangamai is my marae, and Mohi, the late Mohi Wahi, was my kamatua. It was because of Mohi and Pancha that I've joined New Zealand Police. I got introduced to community service and then community patrol through Mohi and Pancha. So I'm really privileged to receive this award on behalf of Orangamai. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, a big applause for all our winners tonight, the Dysart Distinguished Service Award. And now I hand back the stage to Daniel and Jenny. Thank you.
Kia ora, thank you so much. How inspiring was that? Inspiring stories of our people who have been doing amazing work, standing for us and with us for so many years. Can I once again ask you to give a round of applause to our Dysart Distinguished Award recipients. Wonderful. Now I would like to invite to the stage Sir Anand Satyanand, former Governor General and Champion for Ethnic Communities, to deliver some final remarks.
E tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi o te pō. I know that there is a withering number of greetings that have been advanced this evening, and rather than begin and fail on a lengthy litany, can I choose to greet you the greeting that is conveyed in Papua New Guinea, which I think sums up the sentiment that I would like to deliver. As they say in Papua New Guinea, me like'em you too much. President Pancha Narayanan, your wife Puswan, members of your executive, delegates to the 2021 Multicultural Council's Conference, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I first acknowledge the kind invitation extended to my wife Susan and I to be present this evening. My place to stand arises out of long time observance from the sideline, seeing the work of the Multicultural Councils achieve enormous advance in attitudes and approaches of civil society in Aotearoa, New Zealand. A very long journey has been undertaken by our country to reach the current point of diversity in its population. It is just over 100 years from the time of the Immigration Restriction Act coming into operation in 1920, when it was said in Parliament by the Prime Minister of the day, the Right Honourable William Massey, that the Act then about to be passed was, and I quote him, the result of a deep sentiment on the part of a huge majority of the people of this country that this Dominion shall be what is often called a white New Zealand. Bill Massey, were he to have lived on, would doubtless have been bemused to observe 100 years on that our society has been transformed by different policies and approaches being adopted, and that a federation of multicultural societies with branches and associates in many parts of the country is having an annual conference in the capital city. I want to offer respects to the tangata whenua of this part of Aotearoa, Ngāti Awa, Ngāti Toa, and to nearby important places that mark out where we are. The Orongorongo mountain range that frames Wellington to the east, and the rich harbour that provides life from the sea, Te Whanganui Atara. Multicultural societies, as we have learned this evening, have been with us for more than 1 or 2 decades, and it is appropriate to refer to the leadership and tenacity of those who in earlier stages advanced the debate about migrants and refugees being integrated within society. I restrict myself to mentioning Whaia and Dysart, Wahine Toa of Te Rarawa, who died at the beginning of this year, and who was described in the following words in a tribute written in the regular press. She was, it was said, an ethical and visionary public servant who worked relentlessly to give Māori and whānau of all ethnicities real power to influence them and their communities. She was also described as a voice for the voiceless in the corridors of power, and as a small wahine wielding a sharp axe. She was a woman of mana and compassion who saw the potential in everyone and was afraid of no one. As someone who was not able to attend her tangihana, I am grateful for the opportunity to acknowledge her in a setting where she was respected at this event. This dinner, ladies and gentlemen, occurs at a midway point in a significant conference of the associations from many parts of the country. There is still a second day of conference to complete, involving attention to business and to senior citizens. Today, as we have learned, has been devoted to discussion of social cohesion, to public sector policy making, and to contemporary attitudes towards te tiriti o Waitangi. This is all substantial material, and it is good for this dining event to occur in the middle, at the end of the first day, where, in accordance with Tranio's line in Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew, the notion of striving mightily but eating and drinking as friends can also be indulged. In the substantive part of my whai kōrero, I want to speak briefly about the Treaty of Waitangi in a contemporary setting. What I say might provide a challenge to ensure its relevance. I begin that with expressing what I can describe as a treaty realisation or re-realisation of my own. It came during the 4 years that I had the privilege of chairing the Commonwealth Foundation in London. The Commonwealth Foundation is the civil society counterpart of the Commonwealth Secretariat. Twice a year we would gather in the large Blenheim Room at Marlborough House in London with approximately 50 people from each Commonwealth country sitting round a huge table. If you can imagine myself as the chair sitting where I am with a huge table encircling me. Antigua, Australia and Bangladesh were on my left, Canada at the end, India across the table, New Zealand and Nigeria on my right, Papua New Guinea in the corner, Sri Lanka on the other corner, and back around to my side, ending up with the United Kingdom and Zambia, at which time it was back to myself as the chair. The treaty moment, which was expressed again and again in that setting, was to realise that out of all those countries present, New Zealand was the only one to have begun its contemporary history with the signing of a treaty. There have, as I am aware, been controversies with compliance, but there are some waypoints in recent years and the work of some extraordinary people that have laid a pathway to the present that deserve honourable mention. Those things include the passing of the Treaty of Waitangi Act in 1975, which defined the treaty as part of the law and which delegated to the Waitangi Tribunal the role of interpreting the treaty. So people such as parliamentarians and tribunal chairs deserve commendation. There have been, in the same time over those years, since 1975, a number of instances of judicial interpretation of treaty principles in the ordinary courts, which have embedded things such as the government having a duty to act reasonably and in good faith in dealing with Māori claims, and the government remedying past grievances that are now part of the legal mosaic. It is all well summed up in a well-known High Court judgment saying, "There is no doubt treaty principles impose a positive obligation on the Crown within constraints of the reasonable to protect the position of Māori under the treaty." Can I then end with a whakatauki or saying of the first Māori king, Tō tātou te wherewhero? It goes, "E kore tēnei whakaoranga, huri ki tua o aku mokopuna," which says, as most in this room may know, the generations of the future shall reap the rewards of the seeds we have sown. That is the note on which I would like to end and seek your leave to withdraw. Thank you for your kind and courteous attention. Tēnā koutou katoa.
Ngā mihi I te rangatira. Is this yours? Can I keep this? Okay, I think everybody's full now. All right, round of applause for Sir this evening. Okay, how are we doing? Are we all full? Have we had desserts? How's the dessert? I haven't tasted it yet, but I think I am losing weight up here. I really am. All right, we have come to, we're almost nearing the end of our beautiful evening, and I would now like to call on Tamato Rangatira, kia koe e te papa, Pancha Narayanan, to give some final reflections and acknowledgements before we close off today. Terima kasih.
Can I have the Executive Committee of Multicultural New Zealand on the stage, please?
Kia ora te tātou katoa, ngā mahine kia koutou. Ko Marian Kiripiti is ko Whenua, ko Ngāti Wai tuku iwi. Ko reira ngā mihi. Kia ora te ainga iwi o te whenua tēnei. Tēnā koutou, Ngāti tō te Aotearoa. Kia ora koutou, our dignitaries, ngā mihi kia koutou. And to Pancha, thank you very much. It's been a quite profound event so far. So I just want to acknowledge what he's done, because I was just saying to Paul, you know, when we're organising this, we don't realise actually just how the energy comes together and makes it a really successful time for everyone just to celebrate who we are. So nō reira i te wā, thank you very much for coming along, and to those who have received awards, congratulations, and to those of us who support you, congratulations as well for being here. Nō reira, thank you. Kia ora koutou.
I think that there's one more thank you that we must do on your behalf. I'd like to say thank you to our MCs. There was something that we wanted to, the thing is that young people, next generation, public service officials, and we said to them that please talk on behalf of the community. And today what you've seen is Jenny and Daniel being members of the community. So on your behalf, I'd just like to say thank you, lovely people, right? Yeah. And when the borders open, we'll come to Colombia. Yeah. So let us all work towards getting vaccinated, 95%, and then we'll be in Colombia, right? And to Samoa as well. We don't want to bring the virus to Samoa. So thank you so much. Thank you. And on behalf of all of us, I'd like to say thank you to the executive committee. These people work tirelessly. We all carry 2 jobs, one paid and the other not. So you equate it and then we are underpaid. But lovely. And without this team, we couldn't have done all of the things that we have done. And I feel very privileged that I've had such a lovely team, and thank you for giving us this team of great leaders in themselves. So thank you.
I think also we need to take the time to acknowledge the staff and Prem. So, you know, to put all of this together, this could not have happened without Gurdej, stand up, Summer, and the lovely Ariani. And also Prem, because, you know, he was here, like he just asked Pancha to take a step back. We're all very privileged and grateful to have the leadership of Pancha, but, you know, sometimes he needs to learn how to delegate responsibilities. So Prem here took a step up and took one for the team and was like, hey, back, you go, step aside. This is my time to shine. So he handled everything with the office, and Gurdej and Ariani and Summer handled everything up until today, even during the conference and tomorrow as well, and moving forward post-conference. So I think it's really important to acknowledge all the mahi that happens behind the scenes.
Thank you to the Federation of Multicultural New Zealand executive team. So I guess we have the last say. Thank you very much. We have definitely come to the closing of our formalities. And again, congratulations to all our wonderful recipients for this year. Please, homai te piki paki paki for all our recipients this evening.
Such an exceptional night as tonight. And thank you once again to all our recipients as well, and congratulations. What's the most important thing in the world? He tangata, he tangata, he tangata. To cure everyone, I would like, before I call Kura to close with a Karakia, I would like us to stand up and sing Waiata. Which Waiata are we singing? Tuterema. Can we stand up?
All right, okay. Tutira mai na iwi, tato tato e. Tutira mai na iwi, tato tato e. Whaia te maramatanga, me te aroha e na iwi, ki akatapatahi, ki akatahira. Tato, tato, e tato, tato.
koe ni koe koutou koto koe herani, tuki e, ko te mumu, ko te ama, ko te mani I kaiota. E tini he rau kirunga, e tini he rau kiraro, I wai tāmore kirunga, I wai tāmore kiraro. Tēnā te pau kātu, ko te pau norongo, korongo, I ni re re hau, pai marere, kia ora tātou. Thank you.